Hi everybody, I decided I was going to do an extra video to show you the difference between a hamster baby that's tamed versus a hamster baby that is not. Since obviously there are so many babies here, and I can't honestly tell which ones I'm continuously picking up because they all kind of look the same. Some of them you can tell will have different attitudes and personalities versus the ones that are not quite tamed just yet. And so we are going to start with, say, this one, and we're going to see if he's one that I've been constantly picking up. Isn't he cute? You could tell he's kind of relaxed, just kind of chilled. And that's just kind of how baby hamsters are when they are tamed. Versus, let's see if this one is. Because like I said, I pick up so many of these darn hamsters, it's hard to tell which ones are the tame ones versus which ones are not. No, that one's one of the tamer ones. We'll pick one of the brown ones up, why not? Okay, see how this one is kind of desperate to go out? This is what your average non-tame hamster baby will be kind of like. Though they might actually try to nip you, they will continuously try and get out of your arms, your hands, anything that you're touching them with. Sometimes they'll even squeal when you touch them. And then, versus like one of the ones I was holding, where they're more slower, more kind of relaxed. That's how they should be. Obviously, a hamster that you're holding for, you know, a while, or it wants to eat or something, will kind of squirm a little bit out of your hands. But for the most part, they should be kind of like this, where they're okay with you holding them and they're not kind of like freaking out to a degree like that one was, where it was kind of shaking its head, it was kind of shaking its body, it was kind of like, I don't know what to do with myself kind of thing. We're gonna see if this one is the same. Okay, you see how it's sniffing, how it's immediately started to try to find a way out? That's kind of how you can tell. After a few minutes, this one should kind of calm down a little bit. Just kind of like that. Baby hamsters are a lot easier to tame than juveniles or adults. Adults will probably be the hardest to tame if they're not already tamed. And juveniles are still not as easy. To tame a baby, though, it can maybe a day tops to tame them. It can be as low as an hour, depending on, once again, how soon you can get to them. The sooner you can get to them is always the best thing when it comes to taming them. Though, like I said, this one was kind of special because Sarah was born in this house, so I was able to work with her as soon as I was able to because of Sheila, which she didn't really let me get close to them till about, I'd say, 18 days or so is when she actually started not really caring. And with this one, since she was used to me, I actually was able to start working with them since the 8th day to get my scent so that when they smelled they didn't completely freak out. which, since these were semi-tamed and tamed hamsters, completely non-tamed hamsters, like, would be for babies that you haven't been able to work with at all, and it's getting to the point where you can finally get near them without the mother freaking out. It's a lot harder to try and tame them instantly, and it does take a little bit longer. Like, it took, I think it was like 3 days or so before I was able to tame Sariah. So that was fun. Since these little ones kind of knew my scent, it's taken me maybe anywhere between a day to an hour just to tame them, depending on how they react to when I pick them up or things. Some of them were already semi-tamed, others were already tamed. So the semi-tamed ones are more looking to get out of my hand, but aren't biting or squealing or other things like that, like a non-tamed hamster. So that's a little interesting tip on that when it comes to taming them, and the difference between semi-tamed and tamed. A tamed one will just lay in your hand and not really care, while semi-tamed will look for a way out, can kind of turn into a panic depending. Other ones are just kind of, I don't really want to be picked up kind of. See? Tamed hamster. Versus the ones like before. Because it's used to being picked up and handled by me. So that's just that. And I found out I have a very good chance on having a female black bear, because I'm pretty darn sure I could see teats. So that's always fun. I'm not sure which one that is, because there's only 3 that I can see out, and I don't really feel like disturbing poor Sariah trying to dig through her nest. That would be not so polite. And so that's kind of cool. I'll end up keeping her, because I could tell that her bottom was also close together. So that's a good indicator there too. So we'll see a little bit later on if down the road I can actually see teats a lot better. It's harder to find them on a dark bellied hamster versus a white belly hamster. A lot of hamsters have white bellies, so it's much easier to tell. It's only with the darker bellies that you have issues with. And when I mean darker, I mean dark brown, black. I'd say you could probably tell light brown if they have teats or not. But as you can see, Sariah has a white belly, and most of her brown ones have white bellies. And Sheila and Sean both have white bellies, as well as Eloy. And like I said, most common hamsters have white bellies. It's pretty normal. It's only the ones that are one pure color that can be harder, depending on if it's dark versus light. If it's light, you'll be able to tell the teats right away. If they're dark, like, say, these ones, or even if they were, like, the top color of this one, and it was just one straight color of, like, dark brown or medium brown, then it might be a little bit difficult. But this is going to be the end of the video. 'Cause, yeah. Alright. Toodles!